Good morning, chat. How are you all today? You're all doing very good. My name is Penbu. I am the programming, puzzle gaming, and music making VTuber on Linux, and today we're not doing any of those. Over the weekend, I didn't have enough time to make thumbnails, so we are making thumbnails for this week today. Sorry for the long intro. I had a bit of a mishap with OBS. So in YouTube, you can set your stream to auto start when you have data streaming to it. Hello, Alex. Welcome in. So you can set YouTube to auto start your stream when you have data streaming to it. And I was messing around with some of the settings in OBS and then accidentally triggered something to start the stream. And that ended it very quickly. I'm not sure if it picked that up. So there may be in the beginning of this VOD up to 2 to 3 minutes of just black. I don't know. We'll see. But I figured instead of accidentally making it black, then we may as well fill it with some sort of content at the beginning. So that's why we have the long intro. Anyway, today we're making thumbnails. In the thumbnail for today's stream, we have a program called EGSub. AEGISUB. It is a subtitling program, not a graphics program, but one for subtitles. It's one created by the fan subbers, actually, for fan subbing anime, and that's how you get all these fancy subtitle effects. Crunchyroll actually, I think, uses this as their main program as well, and that's why they can do some fancy subtitles. You've used EGSub before, once, but not for image editing. Yeah, so I don't use this so much for image editing. I do and I don't. The reason why I have EGSub here is because it's very easy to manipulate text in it. So normally I use GIMP, and we will be using GIMP for the majority of our thumbnails today. But if there's any text that needs to be added, I find it's a lot easier to do it in EGSub. Because then I can just take, for example, these lines that has this text, and then just move them around. Or, for example, if I want to change subtitling to subbing, I can just very easily do that. Have I fan subbed before? I have been around fan subbers. So that's why I have picked up a few of the techniques that they have done. EGSub is the fan subbers program. But as for fan subbing itself, well, I don't know. We'll see. I definitely can't do any fan subbing on stream if I ever pick that up. And to admit to fan subbing would be burning bridges, so I will not admit to anything. I have actually done certain video memes where I've used EGSub to subtitles onto videos. So I guess that kind of counts. Let's see, where are we at? Okay, so we have in this week. Making thumbnails, that's the stream today. We don't need to make a thumbnail for that. Pengu's, which is a Lemmings-like game. Mario Kart, and then Tetris Connected. We have three thumbnails to make today. And come to think of it, I don't actually know if we're going to end up using EGSub for any of these. Depends on how we make it. By the way, I'm going to move this over. This logo, the logo you see in the corner on the bottom left, and also here, this was also made in EGSub. So I can comment on a bunch of these and it'll look like that. At some point, I should probably render this as an SVG, but I don't know. I don't know how to use Inkscape, and I know how to use EGSub, so here we are. My experience with it is translating, editing, and subbing a VTuber clip. A lot of work to give up. Yeah, that's fair. And for if I were I said in my debut that I would be doing VTuber clipping at some point. Any subbing that will be done with that will be done with EG sub. I know a lot of other subbers don't use it, and the very telltale to see if they do or do not use EG sub is let's create a new one here. Not save that. Yeah, let's unload the video. Let's put a new one. So, quick EG sub primer. Let's put some text here. Make the font size say 200, and align to the middle. Let's say board 20. Not to mention, since YouTube community captions are gone now, I had to send them in manually and got ignored. Yeah, it's unfortunate that community captions are gone, because it means that you actually either people won't make subs, which is probably the norm, or they have to find a way to contact you if they want to get their subs approved, and then you have to upload them yourself and then check through them and whatnot. It's a bit of a hassle. Anyway, the telltale sign for if they use EG sub, or rather if they're not using it, is the round corners here, because there's no easy way to make the square corners. You only have the round corners when you're adding borders. Yeah, that might be a thing for another day. I do want to do some sort of tutorial with EG sub, because there's a lot of stuff that you can do with it. But for now, I guess we can start with the Pengu is a little bit more difficult. I think I might leave that one for last. Mario Kart. We have the Mario Kart H trailer for Wave 6. Spiky strokes in some videos too, like especially R&W. Yeah, I don't actually know if, what tools have that. It might be Premiere, as he said. I know that certain algorithms that they use to expand the letters, I have seen it spike like that. So yeah, we have the Wave 6 trailer here. I figured I would probably take a screenshot from this, since we don't actually have the courses yet. And probably this, maybe take this box here, move it to the side, put me in here somewhere maybe. And so let's take a screenshot of this. Maybe that. And then let's crop this out in GIMP. Let's grab the screenshot from my folders. This is all off screen and you can't see. Although I can show you this, I guess. Detach that so that you only see that. So this is my screenshots folder. There's a ton of stuff in here. At some point, I think I do want to go through these and look at some of the memories of all this, of a bunch of streams that I've been to. And this is only since starting, I think, earlier this year. We're already at 18.6 gigs, almost 16,000 screenshots. And this is only when I got this PC too. But this, what we're looking at is at the very end. So I'll take this, and then add this to GIMP. I want to cut out this bit. I don't know why my control scroll isn't working. Oh well. If I could hit 200, alright. So we can cut this bit out. Hello? I have to use my other mouse? Do I have to use this one? No. Do I have to restart GIMP? I might. Okay, I'm gonna restart GIMP. I keep forgetting to mute my notifications on my phone. Let me do that now. Okay. Start GIMP. And then now are you going to do this? Take this, load it in here, Can I... Oh, right, duh. So in GIMP, with your selection tool, you have 4 modes. You have replace, addition, subtraction, and intersection. I have it set to intersect for whatever reason. But there's no initial selection, so there's nothing to intersect with. Okay, so... Hello? Do I have to use this one? GIMP has this weird thing sometimes where if you're using multiple inputs, so right now this is the mouse, and I also have a graphics tablet attached to here. Sometimes it doesn't recognize, I think it's has them as separate inputs, and one sometimes will work and sometimes the other won't. And I gotta map this tablet to the correct inputs, so let me do that. Just gotta figure out what the name of this monitor is. This is DP1? Okay. So now this should be... Yes, okay. Got it. So I guess I'm just gonna use my tablet for now. We'll take this, move it in there. We can adjust a little bit afterwards. I'll zoom in. I think what we're going to want to do is hopefully take it in from... You see the background, the checkerboard. For this to be a clean cut. Actually, no, we'll take it from here first. The actual borders. Which gets kind of messy with the shadow here. But we can take that. Man, my scrolling actually worked. Oh, well, actually, no, I can do that. Okay. That's good. Maybe we do want that. Sure. Does this work? Okay, good. Very good. So copy that, paste it on top. And now we have a copy of just this. And we're going to want to cut... I guess cut this out. Okay, I'm going to take that back, alpha to selection, so that I can cut this. I'm going to save a copy of that, and just cut it. Adding an alpha layer, or alpha channel rather, so that we can get transparency. And then I guess we can copy a section, and hopefully it's going to be big enough to just clone the entire thing. No, I want to move the selection. Now if we zoom in large enough, hopefully we can find a part that sort of matches. You see, this is why I should have paid attention to where exactly we were cutting. But maybe let's do that. There's no longer a selection, that is now a layer. And we put that on top. Can we fake it? I think I need to move a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more? But if I move it up any more, then we leave a hole there. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clone the edges so it's a little bit more seamless. It's going to be a thumbnail anyway, you know, it's small size at 720. Actually, this is already 720, so as long as we put stuff on top of here, it's not going to be that obvious. You mentioned VTuber clipping. Would you be comfortable sharing who you were clipping? save a copy of that. And then let's have this grow to image size so that we have some space to work with. We'll take this clone tool. And then hopefully we can get clone here. Turn off the dynamics because we don't want any variation. Source image. I think it's a line that I want. You know what? That looks good enough. Let's take this one from here. It's not super smooth, but it'll do, I think. Nobody's going to be zooming in and looking at that. At 100%, you know what? Yeah, let's call that good enough. So let me add this back in, and we can move it over. So maybe about here. It's good sometimes to add guides to do your rule of thirds. And I used to have a plugin for this, but then I think I switched from 2.8 to 2.10 or 2.6 to 2.8, and it stopped being compatible. And I just never bothered to pick it back up. Uh, 33.33. Okay, so if you want this to be, that to be roughly centered at the third line there. Okay. So save this for good measure because the game can crash sometimes. Mario cards. Mario Kart Wave 6. And then, now we need to find a good picture of me. I don't know what kind of expression would be good, but I can at least... So this is my model. This is a no-cheat creator. This is where you go and rig the model. I didn't rig this myself, obviously. As I said, my debut, Winry had done this. Very good job. But I do know my way around this application enough to be able to use it to create poses. Now, what kind of pose do we want, though? I need the other mouse for this. So here I have a camera. You can do that. You can add it by right-clicking the puppet, add camera, and this gives you a viewport for what you can export. So later on, we're going to export this as an image, and we can then use that in GIMP. But okay, Joy-Con. I think we do want the Joy-Cons on because this is a Switch game. And then I always have my arms crossed. So that'll be not this. It'll be this one. Left to about there, and then this to about here. And then now we come up with some sort of expression. We know that we're going to be looking on the right side. So we can turn that way. And then, what else do we have? Let's scroll up. Eyes we can have looking that way as well. I guess we can turn our body a little bit too. This way. A little bit of a breath. Where's my head? That is the head. I need the mouth. I think down here, actually. Got a bunch of expressions here. Or you get an expression of getting Mario Karted. Got sad mad here. I guess we can turn that like that, maybe. So I don't have a good smug face. So unfortunately I can't do anything like that. Or maybe I can make this into a bit of a surprise face. I don't think I can use those eyebrows. I can move them up a little bit. I think we have maybe a slightly softer expression. Wider eyes. You know what, this is probably good enough. So we have me looking to the right side, and if we're looking at, where's my GIMP? I'm gonna move this out of the way because we don't need that anymore. I'm gonna put me around here-ish. So that should be good. So we are going to export image PNG. And please tell me my PNG export actually works this time. Okay, very good. This goes to... this is just on my other screen, by the way. Thumbnails. Allow transparency from the unnamed camera, and we save. What that gives us is this. Gotta find it. That. All the way up here. We'll use this unified transform tool, scale it down. Very large. Not Choco. I don't think I've heard of them. Are they an agency VTuber or indie? This kind of needs to be bigger. I feel like this needs to be bigger. Okay. Part of the aim for thumbnails is to make things pop out and make you want to click on the video. This doesn't really do it, admittedly, but I also don't have a lot of time anyway. What are your favorites say for anime? I'm not sure how strong she keeps her kayfabe. Okay. I'll have to go check that out afterwards. Okay, I think this is probably okay. I guess we can take this and move it over here. We need a little bit more space. I guess this becomes our text, so we won't be using EG sub for this one. I'm gonna call this actually not quite done yet. We do have ways to make this pop out. So you can copy alpha to selection and then grow the selection by a little bit. Not grow, not shrink, grow. What is our scale here? 10? Sure, I guess we can do 10. Maybe 5. Because otherwise it bleeds into there. 5. That's too small. 7. It still bleeds into there, but whatever. Maybe take this color here. Or we can take this red, actually. Maybe we can take the red. Take an average of that. And then we paste the color into there and we get that. Red does not look good. Let's use something else. Oh, the CMT. I do recognize that. Maybe we'll take this blue instead. It's always interesting to see what kind of things people are, things VTuber fans get up to that's not just watching. No, I don't like this blue. I take this blue. Well, that's a little bit too close to my blue. Guess we can try to take this blue instead. No, it's too light. Take this gray then. Something with a little bit higher radius. Maybe a little bit lighter? Something like this, maybe? Maybe down there. Oh, CMT does it for profit? Interesting. Yeah, fan, what's that? No, I think this gray might work okay. It doesn't pop out enough. Maybe if we add a bit of blur. Yeah, maybe we'll add some blur. Sure, let's do it that way. And then if we offset it a little bit, let's say take this and move it this way. Down. I need a reset position. If you have the shadow move towards a certain direction, the eye gets drawn to the same direction, I find. So if you have it go to the right side, you draw the eye towards the right side, and this is what we're looking at. So the eye is looking there, and the shadow also draws the eye to wave 6. And then looking at that. You know, it's not the most popped out It's not the most enticing thumbnail, but it'll do. Big Reddit scandal about their quality since they're speed subbers mainly. Yeah, I think that's a lot. There's a problem with translations and speed subbing. Where unless you have a very skilled subbers who are very fast, it's always, what was it, the choose 2 of 3, right? Quality, speed, and what's the other one? Resources? Either you have lots of people and lots of quality. Oh, that's not quite right. It's something like that. It's a choose 2 of 3, and I don't remember what the third one was. First clip subbed took you hours, never really made it to the speed side. Yeah, when I started subbing things, it did take a while. I think as you practice more, especially the timing, I think timing takes a while, and then also if you do any typesetting takes a while too. Translation, depending on how good you are at it, it's not something that you get to improve on overnight. That one takes a lot of effort to improve on. And then I guess with translated clips, you also have an editor, or at least the good ones have an editor to turn it into more natural English. If anything, you found your English skills being tested more than your Japanese. Yeah, definitely. There are two styles of translations. One is more liberal and one's more conservative, where in, I think it was biblical translations, it's word for word versus thought for thought. And that also carries over to other translations as well. And there always seems to be a bit of a fight between the two camps about which one's better. I generally lean towards thought for thought, especially in things where the words themselves don't necessarily need to be conveyed. It's more of the idea behind it. But I do see some cases where word for word might be better. Okay, so I think we can probably save this one. That's one thumbnail done. Oh, don't do that. And please. There's this thing that my window manager does sometimes. I'm gonna use my other mouse. Where it has 3 modes. It can be maximized. Whatever this thing is, where only one of them is open at a time, and then there's default modes. If I can find where the focus is. Default mode where it does this. But that also applies to the floating layer, and it gets really annoying when it applies to the floating layer because usually there's not much point for it to be shaded, where you only have the title, but there it is. Yeah, tiling, stacking, floating. This is not i3, this is WMII, which is the inspiration for i3. I find that I do like the i3 can't really do this, I think, where you have arbitrary columns. It kind of can. It's i3 has it in I think a tree like structure. But also what I miss about this one, the WMII has that i3 doesn't, is arbitrary tagging. I think DWM does, but DWM has other problems that I don't like. So arbitrary tagging, where I have a workspace and I can put this this window on multiple workspaces. So for example, I have this on 0, which has all my windows, GIMP, which has GIMP on it, and then the current selection, the current tag as well. And it's very handy. Close this. We don't need that right now. Okay, well anyway, this is the Mario Kart one done. I need to export it. And then we open it up. Let me open that up actually. I'm going to attach this one. Move it over here. Close this. And we go into 2023. This is Mario Kart. We can go ahead and compress this. Because if you're going to put stuff on the internet, you should, in most cases, compress your images. To be honest, I just use KDE on my work laptop with Linux nowadays. Yeah, KDE isn't too bad. I have other accounts. So usually if I'm not using this tiling window manager, I'm using something like, what's it called? IceWM, which is also a stacking window manager. But it's also very simple and lightweight and has a lot of, I wouldn't say nice window placement utilities, but it seems to have a lot of them. Okay, well that's Mario Kart done. Next one, I guess we can do Tetris Effect. I had one listed here. So there is this... No, don't put that in my bookmarks. Tetris Effect does have a press kit. And it has this image, and I think this one vibes enough with me that I could probably use it. For some other thumbnails, I might actually go in and play the game and capture a screenshot. That's what I did for the Tetris 99 one and the Puyo Puyo one. But we're not doing that today. I'm gonna save this actually. Pictures. We are in thumbnail sources. Assets. Tetris Effect. We might want to keep that. I want to keep this. Looks kind of like XFC. Used to use that too, but I couldn't make it not ugly. Yeah, XFC or Xface, I think, is what they prefer to call it. I mean, I have it look like this. This is an Xface, but I have my theme look like Windows 95, so I guess I don't mind it too much. Although I have other problems with Xface. I prefer LXD over Xface. Alright, so we're making a new thumbnail. YouTube thumbnails are 1280 by 720. And then we will open that. I hope I didn't show anything that shouldn't have there. Oh, the recents. I don't think so. It shouldn't be. This one. I thought this was 1920 by 1080. What is this? Oh, it is. Okay. Okay, that actually is to our advantage because it means that I can move this all the way to the side. Right, I have to use my graphics tablet. I can move this to the sides and have space over here to put me. So in YouTube thumbnails, you want to avoid the bottom right corner because that's where the timestamp goes. So for example, we're looking at this, right? Oh, that's not a good it's not a good example. But you look here, right? This is on the bottom right. This is on the bottom right. So if you're looking at the list of videos, you're gonna want to try to avoid putting anything important in the bottom right. We can close this now because I want to eat it. So this we can put all the way over. Okay, I need a snap. I don't know why this isn't by default. I like to snap to canvas edges. So I can just do that. Just do... Once more. Just do that. Avoid red on the bottom 2 for the viewed percentage indicator. I guess so, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that because I don't have history enabled on YouTube. But I guess that is a oh, wait a minute. No, yeah, you're right, yeah. The little line at the bottom. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, then do we just be lazy and take this again? Because we could. No. Music Friday. Okay, so now we need another pose, because just this isn't going to cut it. I have reused one pose before, and that was with the first piano stream. I used the pose there for the follow-up composition stream from last week. But I can't use that wholesale today. Maybe I'll take this. Maybe you have eyes closed. Oh yeah, I can wink. I can't wink here though. Actually, wait a minute. I realized that I have also just disappeared from the stream. In part because of the... what do you call it? Yeah, the tiling window manager moment. Hold on, I'm gonna find where it went. Okay, I'm gonna go in intermission while I fix my while I fix the Nochi session and bring me back. So I will be right back. Alright. I've also realized that I have not unpinned this message, so I'm going to go do that now too. Alright, so where were we? We were creating this. We were creating this. Do I want to wink? I can wink. I guess I could. No, I'm feeling a little bit lazy. Maybe we'll see how this works out. And save this. Pictures, thumbnails, sources. Asumi Kana. I recognize her. For Nachoko. Yeah, I do like her work, so maybe I will check her out. Okay. We had Switch Wink here. And again. Now I kind of want to add some text here somewhere. Or maybe we don't add text. Like, I gotta have some text, because I pulled out EG7 and it would be bait if I didn't. Maybe for the Pengus. Okay, maybe we want to put this over here. If the eye isn't drawn anywhere, if you want the eye to be drawn here, then you need to have something to draw the eye there. Or maybe you want the eye drawn here, but then you have the two parts not really interacting with each other. But maybe this is fine. I think the Nachoko channel has been dead for some time now, unfortunately, but existing content is fun. Yeah, the how long has that channel been up for? It's probably a few years. Seems the average lifetime of VTuber is probably around 3 years, maybe, or at least it feels like that. I don't have any stats to back that up. Okay, more guides. You got a vertical there. Maybe just a horizontal one there. And we can probably make do with that. Which then, if the average lifetime of VTuber is 3 years, it calls into question how long I'll be around for. My projects tend to never die out so much. Maybe they'll become a little bit inactive, but they never die out completely. So I do expect to be around for a long time. How long am I going to be able to actively create content every week? We'll see. But for now, take what you can get. I do plan on doing this for a while, and hopefully it pans out that way. Okay, so I think we do want some sort of blue something there. So we'll take that, and then alphabet selection and grow again. We can probably make it 10 this time. And then we'll take... What am I looking for? I'm looking for... this one. You got some sort of blue nibble merge to make this easier. Some sort of blue there, I guess. Take that. Change the layer mode until we get something that looks good. One of these is going to look good. We're probably going to want to blur it too. Active 2019 from March until end of August 2020. Okay, so a little over a year. But she still does voice acting too, right? Maybe we'll dodge. And Gaussian blur this thing. Maybe we don't want to do that. Okay. What if we instead, so let's hide that. Take this. Do what we did before. And then now... so now we filled the bottom layer with just that. And then we do the Gaussian blur here. But with dodge. Okay, I think that works out a little bit better. Change the opacity so it's a little bit lower, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe not dodge. Maybe something else. Sometimes it's just a case of playing around with layer modes until you get something. Linear light didn't look too bad. Oh, vivid light doesn't look too bad either. I'll stack a couple of those on top of each other. And then I kind of want some particle effects. Group these together. And I'll have this thing pass through. Composite modes. Composite space. No, composite modes. Blend space. Ah, no, it was here. Pass through. So layer groups in GIMP usually have their own space. Basically, anything at the bottom of the layer group is essentially a new image. But you can enable pass-through mode for the layer group so that the lower layers can actually see what's below it. Because otherwise, normally it doesn't. That's important for something like this, because if they're all vivid light, they're all acting on the layer below it, and you need something for it to act on. Maybe we'll take this again, and then we have some noise stuff that we can do with it. Pick. I guess we can kind of do that. Make it a little bit noisier. It's not much, but it's there. I kind of want to add some text to this. I don't know what text to add. The problem is this is not my gameplay, so I can't really comment on it. But let's save this for now. If we think of anything, we can come back to it. Alright. Moving on to Penbu. This is going a lot faster than I thought we would. It's probably because we're not putting any text on it. Pengus. So if you've never seen this game, look at the screenshots. It's I don't know if you've ever played Lemmings before, but it's pretty much that, but with penguins. And if you've never played Lemmings before, it's this thing. Basically, you have a bunch of these lemmings coming out of some entrance, And then you can assign them certain abilities so that you can get them to the exit. Same thing with Pengus. You have them coming out of some entrance. You give them some sort of ability, in this case a digger, and you get them to the exit. It's a fun little puzzle game. Action game, something? What do they call it in Wikipedia? Puzzle strategy. So my idea with this one was going to be Lemmings but put Ket in it, but that might be a bit difficult because I don't really have any I don't have enough art of Kets to be able to do this properly. But one thing we can do, we're gonna Pengu's GitHub, because I'm pretty sure this is on GitHub somewhere. So we can try to find the assets that are in here. And because this is open source, we can do that. Source, Pengu's, probably in here somewhere. Components? Not components. Where is your art? Engine. Saw something about XCF on the search results. Yeah. Source graphics files. Oh, actually, yeah. Good points. Media. There it is. Images. Entrance, exit, story. But I think these ones are just the art. Not necessarily the sprites. Oh, sprite is what I'm looking for. Gotta be in here somewhere. Aha. These are sprites. Images, core, misc. It's a flag. Editor. Actually, we should take a look and see if we have anything in here. Videos. Oh. Wonder if I can take a screenshot from that. Pengu's bomber. Okay. Now how to pronounce this extension or image format. I used to say GIF with a hard G. And then I found out that the creator prefers GIF with a soft G. And now I just try to avoid saying it. Say GIF purely on vibes? Well, my vibe says GIF. I don't know why. Okay, we have PNGs. Alright, we have sprites. I don't actually know how this is going to help us. But I think if we go to one of the level sets, where was I earlier? If we take one of these and take the art from this, and then maybe paste a bunch of cats over it. So if I go here, find where my assets are, props and cat is one of it. We have cat default, or the standing and sitting. And these are the two bits of art that I have. It's not a lot you can do with it. But for example, maybe we can just do proof of concept here. No, that's not what I want. Actually, no, there is one more piece of art that I can draw from. And that is... Where did I put it? The sources? Hold on, I gotta go find this. I'm looking for my my character sheets. I know I have it on this computer somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's in here, but where did I put it? It's also in Discord. Maybe I should just grab it from Discord. Right, okay. It's there. Duh, under the thing that says model. So we have the reference sheet. So I could take this maybe. Whatever, we don't have anything facing left. But this would also, because it's so flat, it's not gonna look too good here. But I guess it's worth a shot. Now again, just as a proof of concept, because the image is otherwise too small. Find this. We probably want to crop it out first. Fit canvas to layer so we can see everything. Crop out this cat. And I reach for the selection tool instead of the crop tool. But that's okay, because I can just do layer, crop to selection. And then let's get rid of all this white. No, I don't want you to sample merged. Just this one. That's a little bit too far. And then shrink. Shrink by 1. And feather by 1. And hopefully that doesn't get rid of too much of the black. Okay, there we go. Let me cut out cats. I move you over here. Oh, where'd you go? I mean, I guess it'll work. And we don't actually have to even cover them up, we can just put them over here. And we actually only need one of them. And then we can use text to draw attention to him. Or maybe we can place a bucket somewhere too. Okay, so that'll do. Maybe we can use this, but this is also a JPEG and I don't want to use that. So let's see if there's anything we can use in these repos. Where are all these JPEGs? Oh, wait a minute, this is just level 1. I can just find the thing for level 1. World map. Oh, these are where the sprites are, I see. Level sets. And I guess these are for the actual level sets. Stories. The credits. World maps. Tutorial lands. Oh, levels, here we go. Adventure. Let's see. Maybe we pull up the game and find the first one. I kind of don't want to do that because it's going to be loud, at least on my end. Maybe we'll do it anyway. Okay, mute the mute your volume here. Hello, welcome in. So we're just taking a screenshot so we can use it for the thumbnail. We can do the level editor? No, not that. Fingers, yes. Okay, so we can take this as a screenshot. I'll restart. So I've taken that as a screenshot, and then we'll wait for a couple more to show up, and then we can edit Ket into here somewhere. I was taking a couple of screenshots there, and I think that's probably good. And so, my screenshots, find my screenshots folder. We now have this, which I realize now because actually we only needed this at 720p, not 1080. If this is to 1080, this might be too big. But we can always crop it down actually. So if we have something, I thought it took more than that. Okay, whatever. We'll take this. Canvas size 1280, 720. Always center that. Yeah, just center it. Resize. Oh, it's still too small. Layer. What if we made this larger? ×2. That's too large. No, maybe not do that. Just move it. Okay, I think we can work with this. Let's take that. And we may or may not need me in here. But we definitely do want cats. Maybe we'll take this one, add them in here. And maybe add a random bucket in there somewhere too. Oh, actually, you know what? I have an idea. Cat hogs the camera. Yeah, that is an idea, and that kind of relates to what I was just thinking. We can do this, and it's going to require a lot of clipping. So we have him here actually, in the background. We use a layer mask. And use a layer mask. What you do is you paint black at the parts that you want to hide or erase, and white the parts that you want to show. We're gonna have to paint very carefully. Or just take this and paint the rest of this black. And then zoom in to fill in the parts that we want to keep. And this is going to take... Actually, I wonder if I can... Hold on. Can I cheap out a little bit? I might be able to. Let's see how that looks. It's a good start. We'll take it. So I have a theory where you can keep your brush size at one constant size, and by doing some sort of painting with alternate colors like this, you should be able to clip something out without having to change your brush size. So far, I think that's worked out for me. I don't know if that is true for every case. Kind of like a fractal, kind of. We're going to demonstrate here. So for example, if you're trying to... Let's turn this red. Maybe a smaller brush size. Let's add on top of here. And you have a big brush size, right? That's not gonna work. I need something else here. Let's take blue. Yeah, let's take blue, and then let's have, say, layer mask. Drawing with unstable pendulums. Much less than that, I think. What am I trying to go for? So say we want to add... I think this needs to be a little bit more stable, actually. So let's take... smaller. Oh, I don't want to do that. And let's take a brush size of this big. Even bigger. There we go. So I can overshoot it. And I can undershoot, or undershoot a little bit. Although if you're, if you're being a little bit more careful, you wouldn't have such overlap, but like you do this and then you erase the portion that you don't want, leaving just this slice here. Of course, being a little bit more careful. So just working along the edge there, like that. And then you can work with a brush size that's it's bigger than the stripe that you're working with. But yeah, I don't know if that works for all cases, but it seems to have worked out for me so far. Is it faster than changing your brush size? That is another good question. It depends, I think, on how well adjusted you are to this. Because either you have to remember what your brush size is, or you just get close enough. So I think I want white here, so we can get this. Actually, no, we don't. We want this. So we can take that. Although I do actually change my brush size for smaller details because it tends to be a little bit more convenient to do so. Gimp noob and did not know layer masks could be used that way. Yeah, layer masks are very useful. I like to try to have as little destructive editing as possible. And layer masks are a very good way to do that. I want this. And take this. Photoshop, I think, has a similar feature as well. Maybe I should just change my brush size. Yeah, I'm probably going to change my brush size for that bit. Alright, zoom in a bit more. Shrink the brush size. And then there we go. Your only experience with using photo merge automation. I can't say I'm familiar with the tools in Photoshop. What does photo merge do? Make sure we have a good solid background here. Oh, I don't want to do that. It's the other way I want it. It takes a set of images and stitches them together. Yes. GIMP has... I usually actually do my stitches in GIMP manually. There's probably some sort of automation available. But layer masks are pretty useful for that too. Where you take... where you put a gradient in the layer mask so that you get a seamless transition. Nobody needs to know that there's a penguin behind there. Oh, that's the wrong direction. Make that a little bit more defined. And I probably do want to shrink my brush a little bit there, but let's see how this looks. Yeah, so far that actually looks okay. This one I think can be a little bit less soft. Actually, who do we have down here? Yeah, there is one penguin down there. No, I don't want the clone tool. I want the that. There we go. Zoom in a little bit more. Works for real photos and photospheres and stuff too. Yeah, I know. So there was one anime I was watching. What was it? Place Further in the Universe, Sori Yoni mo Toi Basho. And there were a few stitches there that I wanted to get. And the stitches weren't weren't trivial because they actually had proper perspective and everything for their 360 shots. And so I had to use, I think it was the tool's called Hugin, the photo stitcher, to help with that. And the result was pretty good. Now, one of the dangers of having this bit here is that if you take off too much, it's going to look like there's a line here, and you don't want that, like an air gap. But I think this might be okay. But this is still too soft, so we're gonna make this a little bit less soft. Yeah, one of the reasons why sometimes I don't change my brush size is because of the softness. So I have these brushes come from old GIMP actually. I don't know which ones are supposed to be the new ones, which ones are the old ones. But I think the softness ones are the ones that you end up using the most, or at least I end up using the most. So you have 25 hardness, 50 hardness, 75 hardness, and 100 hardness. Usually never use the 100, usually stick to something like 75. But the smaller the brush size, the less soft you get. So if you're working with a brush size that's too small, you might have an edge that's a little bit harder than you'd want. Yeah, maybe a bit of a drop shadow. Alright, bell peppers, let's do it. Where is the bell pepper? There it is. I don't know where that came from. I think there was an image with a bell pepper. Is this one of the standard test images or something? Is hardness a measure of how much smear there is on the edge? If by smear you mean, yeah, I guess it is. So if we open up a new image here, I guess we don't need a new one, we'll just clear this one. Or just make a new layer. So if we take the hardness 25 and then change this to black, 70 so you can see it. Alright, so there's that, and then 50. Actually, I'm able to keep them all at 51 so that's I don't have to change the brush size. Alright, that's 25, this is 50, this is 75, and then this is 100. So yeah, it's basically how much it smears around the edges. And apparently I can change the hardness here, so let's do that with bell peppers. That's a hardness 100, and then this is hardness 60. And then 40. I keep going to 10. That's basically how blurry it is almost. Soft bell peppers. Yeah, similar to Lena image. Can't remember what's I think the full image of the peppers is that it's in a grocery stand with a lot of other peppers or something. I'll have to dig that up later. Okay, so the rest of these look okay. No. I do not want to brush with a pepper. One of these days we'll do some sort of playing around with GIMP streams, and we will play around with the bell pepper. I want to do that. Get me on this layer. Was this layer even anything? Oh right, that was the bell pepper layer. I'll fill it in a little bit over there. Now, how do we make a drop shadow with this? That's a good question. Let me just zoom in and make sure this is okay. That looks okay. That all looks okay. This is probably good. I think that has a bit of an air gap. Or maybe fill this in a little bit. So we have a couple of options. Zoom in a little bit more. We can take this off of the selection, so we have the layer mask to selection rather. So now we have all this, and that tells me that we actually have a few places that we need to cut off. Or maybe it doesn't matter, because you can't see that anyway. Here's a cool feature. You have the quick mask, which means you can draw a selection by painting it. And it's the same thing. You have white for inside the selection and black for outside. So what we can do is we can paint this section or something, and then create a black layer on top of it. And we want to intersect with this portion, so that's only this portion. So I actually want to invert this. Let's invert that. Then we only have those selections. And then let's take the quick mask back on. And we don't want these portions. So let's... And you can use your selection tools on this as well. And I think everywhere else we don't want. This takes in the entire thing. We only want this section here. And so the rest of it should be black. Not quite like that. I do have a quick mask enabled though. Take that, take that. Is this... Oh, okay, no, it does work. Okay. And so we only want the portion that is relevant here. Actually, we can probably start with this. Let's start with that. Add black to it. Oh, we don't want to quit. But we don't want to get rid of this bit. So this is also going to be black. And then the rest of this we can keep. So we'll take black here. This goes underneath cat, I think. Underneath that, actually. No, that can't be right. Take a Gaussian blur. Not entirely sure what's happening here. So we have cats here. Do we need to take... You can use control, comma, or period to fill background or foreground. Good to know, I did not know that. Okay, I'm getting a little bit confused here. The cat is on top. So this actually needs to be on, not on top. But yes, on top. I think we need another copy of this maybe. But with the layer mask here. Add layer mask to the selection. Because we only want that portion. But only the certain portions that we have here. Am I getting confused? Let's see if I'm correct. I'll put a selection. Where even is the selection? Ah, okay, that's why that's the case. Let's undo that. I'll put a selection, which means we should get that bit. And then we get this here. I think this is what should be. This is what should be in the layer mask, actually. Delete the layer mask, add layer mask back. And then we can expand this a little bit. What am I looking for? I guess we can Gaussian blur that. But without the selection. Because if you have a selection active, then only the portions inside the selection get it. Okay, so there we do have a little bit of a shadow there. And then we can turn this black-ish. We can turn this into I don't want to do a threshold on that. What am I looking at? This doesn't feel right. I'm not sure I understand, but I think this... Oh, right, okay, no, that kind of... That makes sense and it doesn't. No, it doesn't make sense, but I think it'll do. Colors. Non-destructive editing. Take a layer group here. Put that in there. And add some sort of black on top. But not so black. Maybe like this. And play around with layer modes until we get something that kind of looks okay. Okay, no, I actually don't understand how this is working. We have this on top. I blurred it. Oh, I didn't blur it. I blurred the layer mask. That's why. Okay, so then we actually want another copy of this on top. And then we can turn this into whatever that is. We can change the color of this. Let's take this layer again, alpha to selection, disable or delete this layer mask, add it back, but with this selection. So now we have a copy of this texture on top. Which means then we can take this and then turn this into whatever color we want. And then we can edit the edges out with the layer mask. I'm gonna go a little bit darker. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Okay. So then we take this layer mask, or so this this layer group, and then we'll just edit out the edges. Yes. I think that should look good enough. At least it's going to look good enough for the thumbnail. Okay. And then this is missing text. And we can actually make use of EG sub, and so that the thumbnail isn't just bait. Where am I putting this? This is in thumbnails. Now we're gimping gas. Alright, I need a new folder. Fingers. I forgot to compress this. I'll resave that. If you don't compress it, you end up with a really large file, 26.9 megs. If you compress it, then you only end up with a file. Well, I guess you don't have too much savings, but it's still good to compress your files. You can go delete that later. Okay, so we can now export this to a PNG. No text. I'll open up EG sub. Loaded faster than I expected it to. And then we can take this and find the thumbnails folder. Pengu's, take the no text version and then put it into EG sub. After I open the video dialog and put it in here. Okay. So general YouTube thumbnail bait, whatever, clickbait. You put some sort of arrow somewhere and some sort of text. So we need a caption. How well does the compression checkbox do? I've never tried it, so I have no idea. But you know what? We can test that out. One of the reasons why I've avoided using it is because there is... I guess it doesn't really matter because it won't be readable outside of 210 anyway. But let's give it a shot. Okay, what did that give us? 15. Oh, that's much better than being G-zipped. What is this? Interesting. Actually, we might be able to find out where is this? If you do a file on, maybe it has some sort of header on it. Doesn't say. Might be internal compression. Okay, we need a some sort of text. Some people have said, I think, that YouTube videos have two titles. One is the title in the like in the actual YouTube video, and then their second title is what's in the thumbnail. So like some sort of subtitle of some sort. But that aside, we can at least, if we can't come up with a title or subtitle or some sort of text, we can at least style this thing. So I'm going to start with that. I think we can do AN6. So the AN tag is the alignment tag. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, corresponding to the number pad. Seeing combos like is outlandish thing true and title and no in the thumbnail before. Reverse clickbait. Yeah, that is common with a lot of informational videos. This is not an informational video. Or at least I'd be surprised if it were. We knew AN6 and then maybe put this up. No, maybe AN4. AN7? AN7. We could also just label everything. So this being the entrance, this being the exit, being redundant with the exit there. And then label this as cat and penguins. That could work. We're gonna do that, but then okay, let's start with entrance then. And one of the hardest things about this kind of typesetting is finding a good font. A lot of fonts here. Not as much as on my other computer. I'm trying to keep this computer, sticking this computer to just free use fonts. So things under the SIL, under GPL, any other open source font license, with some exceptions. But it makes it easy to just use any font that's in this list. Vera, do I have that? I do not have Vera. I remember I can't remember if it was Vera or if it was something else that had issues with licensing. Vera font. Apparently it's not that one. Because it is under the open font license. Do I want to install that right now? OTF Vera Sans, Mono. Anything else? Code? Fair code being fair mono, but with ligatures and symbols. I actually don't like ligatures in code fonts. But that's just my preference. I know a lot of other people like them too. Okay, so I have that installed now. I'm gonna save this because I think there is a way to cycle between fonts by reloading the video provider, but there's only one installed on this one. So I think I actually have to restart EG for it to work. I am in Pengu's. FC cache will reload the font cache in the system, but the application still needs to recognize it. And EGSub is not a program to do that. You have to... Actually, I don't think it's EGSub that's a problem. I think it's the video provider that's the problem. It looks at it once on startup and then not again. I'm gonna open EGSub again. And then take the recents. And hope I didn't show anything in there that I shouldn't have. I'm sure it's fine. Now let's take a look at what Vera does. Oh, lots of stuff. Bold is usually a good thing to use. FS is your font size. Say like, I don't know, 70, 80, 100s. Nope, that's too big. Page 5. It also has to look good at this size, roughly. So even if it looks a little bit too big when it's at full size, you might want to make it a little bit bigger. Let's get rid of these borders. So board 0, shad 0. And then we can figure out the rest later. I have this arrow font called PAX something something. Let's go look this up in the font manager. I have all these arrows. I can use one of them. Don't know which though. Maybe this one. That's capital letter Y. Let's make this AN6. I'll move this a little bit closer. Personal preference for fonts has always been for fixed width fonts. I for the longest time I used fixed width fonts even for emails. Then I stopped doing that because it was kind of obnoxious for everyone else, I'm sure. But I do like fixed width. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but at work, my terminal font is actually Comic Mono. I can find it. This one. It's Comic Sans, but it's monospace. And it works surprisingly well. As I mentioned somewhere, when I touted it to the people at work, I mentioned that it made the code look friendlier. And I think it does do that. Although somebody responded with, the code looks friendlier, but that's a false sense of security. Use the fixed width for their signature. Yeah, I used to do that too. I don't anymore. Yeah, I did do that at one point. Right, we're no longer in game. What am I doing? So we have this entrance here. Okay, so I think we can do 3: entrance, exit, and then cat. One of the problems with the Advanced Substation Alpha subtitle format, AS as they call it, is, so let's put on a border. If you only want one border, that's fine. If you want multiple borders, you're gonna have to add more layers. So like something like this is fine, I guess. Sometimes if you want something to stand out, you want to add more than one border. So for example, if I open up the thumbnail from earlier, or for this stream, wait for that to load in. Alright, I have, if you look closely here, there's the fill, and then there's the inner border, then the outer border, and then a shadow. And I actually have one layer for each of those. The fill, the inner border, outer border, and then the shadow. Subtitle meta, having white color whites often so it stands out even more. White color white. Have I seen that? I know I've seen like color white color, but I don't know about white color white. But maybe that is worth exploring. For very basic subtitles, white on black, or sorry, white with a black border will go on anything. But yeah, for my, you can pull it up. Just gonna go find this on some other window. Remember my debut promo, I did have some subs there too. Debut promo. This one? Or is that this one? Not that one, that's the YouTube subtitles. Sorry, I'm just looking on another screen. This one. Alright, so for these subs, I do have color white and color. And I think it does stand out a little bit more because you have a much thicker border and you have the white giving a lot of contrast, but you also have the color giving it a little bit more personality. Talk of subcolors reminds me of watching the commentary tracks for Nanoha movies. Do they have are those tracks color coded by hair? Because I know old fan subs used to do that. The newer fan subs don't anymore, out of standards reasons. It's a little bit dated, but I know older fan subs used to do it by hair. Color white, color black, and color black and white. Color black and then white. That's interesting. So like if we did we take this instead, for example. And put that in here. And I made this white. Maybe it has to be a lighter color. But yeah, there are certain combinations that will look good and then certain combinations that don't. Color coded by the character's theme colors and maybe hair. Yeah, like certain characters having association with certain other colors. VTuber subs do that a lot, actually. Especially when there are a lot of people talking, subbers will often, or clippers will often color code the subs by either their theme color or hair color or some sort of other color association. It's orange. I saw the quite toony font. Yeah, that might work. Okay, we can close this one. Close this one. We'll probably close this one as well. Same thing with this, and also probably this. I hope I don't need that again. Okay. And then actually, so there's another thing that another reason why you might want to separate it out into layers is because if you try to apply a blur here, so blur is the tag for blur. Let's say 50 for exaggeration. You would think that it would blur the text as well, the inside, but it only blurs the outside. And it is very annoying to work with sometimes. So if you have blur 10, for example, and then you have board 0 to get rid of the border, it will blur the text. I don't know what the use case it was for when this was designed. It must have been sane at that time, but most of the time this is not what you want, at least these days. But thankfully, at least for these thumbnails, I don't think we tend to use, or at least I haven't used much blur, so the only time that I needed to separate it out specifically was for blurring the shadow in here. Alright, so this is the blurred shadow at the bottom. If I tried to do it here instead, so if I take out these alphas, then the entire thing would be blurred, and that's not what you want. At least that's not what I wanted. So say this is the entrance. And actually we can probably take this and move it over here. And then we just change the font in the middle. So if we take this FN, FS, the FS can probably stay. When we take this FN, put it in here, and we take this FN, and put it up here. Oh, that's not what we want. Page up. Where's my page up key? Put that in here. Then we get the same thing, but without having to do anything. Let's add some spacing here. FSP, say, oh, I don't know, 10, 20. Oh, that is just this hard space. And then reset it here. So the tags, most of the tags, possibly all of them actually, if they don't take a, you don't give it an argument, it just resets it to whatever the initial value was. So maybe less than that, maybe just 15. And I move this over here. I get rid of this one because we don't need it anymore. But actually, maybe I do want to separate it because I want this to be a little bit straighter. So let's walk that back. So we're going to rotate this. Not that one, this one. Rotate that so it's a little bit more horizontal. And move that up here. Move that in here like that. Let's make this board 7 again. Do I want a double border? Maybe. Do I want different colors? Probably. Let's find a color in this palette here. Not the Discord palette. This is the old Discord palette too. Tango icon theme. So I can't remember if I mentioned it before too. The color palette for all the Penbu stuff, including Cat in the Bucket, are all based on the Tango icon theme. Tango icon palette, rather. So it's very easy for me to just pick out colors that look good with the characters. But maybe we shouldn't be taking it from there. Maybe we should be taking it from the image itself. Like this blue here, actually. We have a good blue here. Let's take this blue. Sample average of around 2 pixels, maybe. I'd vocalize what you said in chat, but I don't know how the intonation is. I'm also not very good at voice acting. Okay, so let's take this border, and let's take this in a the screen that you can actually see. So another oddity of the AS format is that that might be a little bit too blue. Turn down luminosity, maybe. Another oddity is that it's not RGB, it's BGR. So this is B, that's G, and then that last two is R. Wait, is that Osaka from Nichijou? Actually, I haven't watched that, but I have seen clips. Why is it BGR? Probably historical reasons. Perhaps for the same reason why OpenCV is BGR. I'll have to link the article to that some other time, or maybe after the stream rather. There was an article that goes on about the history of why OpenCV is BGR, and it dates back to some early cameras or something. Oh, Azumanga Daioh, that's... I keep mixing those two up because I haven't seen that one either. What was I looking at? I was looking at this. I was trying to get a good color. That's not this. Do I change the value so it's darker? No. Do I change the luminosity so it's darker? No. Do I increase saturation? No. Do I increase saturation this way? You know what, maybe. You know, I think that kind of matches. Let's go with that. So I'll copy this and put it in here. But it doesn't really pop out well. So maybe we'll do that trick where we do the double border. So we'll take this. So we can... Oh, yeah, let's do that. So maybe we'll do that and then change the border to white. And then we'll add another border afterwards. So this is layer 1. And then this one will be layer 2. And then it has the same border. And then we'll make it the same fill color. And then we'll make this board, I don't know, 10, 12. It pops out a little bit more. Maybe we'll shrink this down a little bit to, say, 6. 5, 6. Okay, let's do that. Hidamari's sketch is another one. Is that one my shaft? Is that shaft? That one I find that I don't mix up at all, actually. Mostly because I haven't seen it around too much, but I think it is on my plan to watch list. I'm gonna change this from A and 6 to A and 4. So I can do that, have it closer there. Move this a little bit more this way. And we can lengthen this a little bit. FR or FSCX is your scale on the X direction. There is a GUI tool for that. I think it's this one. It's a little bit finicky to use, so I usually just do it by hand. It takes in a percentage. The 100% is 1:1. So I'm going to make this 120. 110. You don't want to stretch it out too much because otherwise it gets a little bit too obvious that it's stretched. Maybe 110 is okay. Hidamari, Azumanga, Lucky Star, Kaon all occupy the same brain space for you. Cute girls doing cute things in high school. Sketchbook, Hidamari sketch, another group. I don't know. I don't think. Sorry. I don't think I've seen Sketchbook or heard of it much actually. Let's see, what was I doing? Azumanga Daioh, Lucky Star, and Haruhi. Haruhi, I don't know if I would consider necessary. I mean, I guess it kind of is cute girls doing cute things, but not really. It's less so than the other ones anyway. Nichijou and Nichibros are definitely in the same group. I think they have similar antics. Again, though, not having watched Nichijou very much. Actually, no, I can't say that anymore because I think I was at a game board cafe, and they were showing Nichijou episodes back to back. With audio, I don't remember, but we were there long enough for me to see a bunch of episodes. Yeah, Lucky Star had a lot of Haruhi references to it. There was even, I think, one episode where they went to a maid cafe or something, and the staff there were cosplaying Haruhi characters. There's also a lot of what's that show called? It was the one with the big bear suit thing. And the blue hair girl. And the guy that the mercenary. Full Metal Panic, that's what it was. Yeah, Full Metal Panic was also a good show. K-On! Is oddly separate from all of those in your heads, which is it. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, K-On! Was a lot more Yashike than the others. The other ones had more comedy focus to them, I think, whereas K-On! Was more feel good and there was an actual story and all that. K-On! I think was one of the ground layers, I guess, of the genre, or at least one of the things that set some sort of pattern for anything that came in the future. Okay, so let's follow this pattern, I think. So we have the entrance here. We can copy that to make the exits. Entrance, exits. I'll move this, put that over there. Asobi Asobase is also another one that's on my list, plan to watch list. Also have not gotten to it. I can't remember if I've started it like the first 5 minutes or so and then ended up having to do something else and never got back to it. That is possible. Actually, no, I don't think it was that one. I think that was Flip Flappers. But yeah, I have a ton of shows on my plan to watch list. I don't think it's gonna be a miracle if I ever get through all of them. Especially now that most of my time is being taken up by VTubers. Is this the same blue? This doesn't look like the same blue. But it is. Okay, whatever. So one part of design is you place your text where you want the eye to, in the order that you want the viewer to read it. So if we put Ket here, that is probably going to be the second thing that they read, because people read left to right, top down, or at least in this case, top down, left to right. So we have to put Ket, if we want that to be the last thing that they read, probably down here. Maybe move this over a little bit too. Yeah, I just assume, I assume that titles that look Japanese are probably read in the Japanese way. There are some exceptions to that, but most of the time that's generally correct. Okay, so now we take the other one and turn exit into ket. And then maybe we'll have an upwards arrow this time. We're gonna put it down there. Now I don't want this to be too close to the bottom. There is this thing called overscan. Is it really relevant for YouTube thumbnails? Maybe not. I think it's a good idea to just keep within it anyway, just in case. So overscan, the idea behind it is that back in the old days when they had CRTs, TVs wouldn't always show the full picture. Sometimes you need a bit of wiggle room for the image to show up in the center. So there's this area around the border where if you wanted the picture to look good on all screens, you wanted to try to avoid placing any text. Let's put that back on. Placing any text in any of these blue regions. So this inside is the title safe area. That's where you put all your text, and this inner region here would be your action safe area. So any movement that's important should be within this portion. And then anything outside is things that shouldn't be important at all. Nowadays, it matters a lot less because we're all on digital screens. But apparently some phones default to having some sort of overscan, and also TVs for some reason still have overscan by default. So it's good to keep in mind anyway. Okay, now we're going to look for an upwards arrow. Maybe we use the same one, maybe we don't. Maybe we take this one to B, and then just rotate it. Let's make that A and 5. I don't know about you, but this actually looks pretty decent. Let's look at this small size. Yeah. And if we really wanted to... Now, I'm not going to do this, but make a big O. I don't know where that ended up going. FS5. Oh, right. Because this is a subtitling program, there are times, and if your times go outside of the current frame, you're not going to see it. That does catch me sometimes. Board 0, Shad 0, C, maybe one of those, B1. A and 5, FS 500, nope, 30, it doesn't matter, and 5. And then I take the scale. And this is where you get a... Oh, this doesn't really work. But there's this concept in clickbait where you have this useless red circle. I think for the red circles, we usually do that in GIMP, and then annotated here in EGSub. Remember, there's at least one other show whose title I pronounced differently after watching it. How did he get here? Like cats? That's a good question. I guess this is for the viewer to find out. But I think this might be a good thumbnail. We're missing... This feels a little bit right heavy. It feels like there's a lot missing over here. But if I try to insert myself in here, I don't think that's... I think that might be too much going on. Do we try to add a bucket in here somewhere? I actually do want to kind of try that out. So I do have this bucket assets. Not there. One of these bucket assets, probably this one. Drag first and put it in here. So what we can do, as a proof of concept, I don't think we're going to end up keeping this one. So we can either put the bucket on top of Ket's head, like this, but I think that might be too much, or we hide it as a bit of an Easter egg here. On this penguin. And then maybe hide hide the handle. Where does the handle disappear to? I don't know. But it's gonna look better that way. I did make sure to... Okay. One thing that sometimes gets me, for some reason, sometimes I have this interpolation of none. And it's not going to look good that way. Because then it doesn't do any smoothing. You know what? That looks okay. I'm going to keep that. Maybe add a bit more blur, though. Blur can be important when making things blend in. Needs more blur, as they say. 0.5? Maybe 0.5. Yeah, 0.5 is probably okay. Okay, so we save this, and we overwrite the no text. Then we reload the no text in here. And then we leave the bucket unannotated, I guess. Okay, well, I think that's I think that is a thumbnail. So we save this as a PNG. By the way, this version of EG Sub, the architect fork, has a function for you to copy only the subtitles. So we can extract the subtitles like that. Standard EG Sub 3.2.2, which is highly outdated, by the way. If you can help it, try not to get that version. It does not have that. But okay, so that saved it in the thumbnails folder. And then we can rename this to that. And then we can compress. I really need to turn this into a utility script at some point, because I keep typing it out every time, and whenever you do that, you should turn it into a script. Okay. I didn't compress it by a lot, but okay. So what do we have here? We have this, and then we also had this, and then our other one was Tetris Effect. This one. I'm looking at this and I think the shadow is a little bit too much. Or too much to the right. But also, do I care enough to fix it? I don't know. This one looks like it needs text. Still needs a little bit of text. Or maybe it needs the logo actually. Maybe we find the Tetris Effect logo. And then this one is just, this one is fine. Actually, maybe we can make have the Pengu's logo here too. Okay, so time to find those. Since we're still working on Pengu's, we can just start with that. We should have it here somewhere. Logo? Logo.png. Sure. It's not transparent. Find the one that is transparent. This one's probably okay. So if we can take this, that one's probably going to be even better. So take this, move it on to here, and then transform this to the corner. Something that's large enough that you can see it, but also not too intrusive. Whoa. Yeah, that's just a GIMP rendering bug. I think that could be a little bit larger. Can you see it when it's scaled down? What do you mean by that? Oh, like, when it's scaled down like this? Kinda, not really. But I don't know if there's any other good place to put it. I mean, I guess we can put it up here. It's a little bit awkward. We have all this text on the right side, so we can't put it here. We need to balance it on the left side. But let's see how this looks. Alright, do that whole dance again. It's not awful. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it like that, but at that point you're not reading any text anyway. You can kind of make it out here. Not really. Where am I looking? I'm looking here. Take this, remove this, overwrite. And then compress. And now for Tetris Effect, find the logo. Or find my Firefox window. There it is. I doubt we're going to be able to find this. Or maybe if we're lucky, the website has it in... Oh, we're lucky. Alright. 2x? No? Sometimes you can do stuff with the URL. Because sometimes you have processing instructions on the image name, because they're doing processing on the fly. But also sometimes they have something like this where it's like a signature or something that prevents you from just arbitrarily changing the parameters. But this should be large enough, actually. We'll just take this. I'm going to copy this into here and hope we have a place for it. Maybe right down the middle. Or maybe we put it down here. I mean, I guess that isn't awful. Because our other option is we move, I'm going to group this. So we move that as a single unit. But moving me over means that we might lose this third here, which might not be too bad actually. If it means we get better balance, that might be okay. And we need to move this up a little bit more. Yeah, we can try top left. Means you have to move me over a little bit more. It feels a little bit disconnected in my opinion. But top left isn't awful either. Oh, I lost the undo history there. Ah. Oh well. What happened here? What did I do? Something went wrong here. I think it might have been that, and then this needs to be a pass. This needs to be a pass through. That is a pass through. What? Yeah, let's do that again. So this is a group. We group these three. And somehow doing that right, because this needs to be a pass through too. Okay, that makes sense. And so then we move this one over here. Then we move this one up here. Yeah, I think this is better for balance because you have a big vertical thing here and then you have a big vertical thing here, and then in the middle is a bit of a bridge between the two. And you want this to be centered a little bit more between the two big vertical things. Like that. There we go. I think that works. Let me move this down a little bit more. Okay, yeah, I think that's a little bit more balanced. Maybe to the left. Like there. Maybe a little bit more. So I'm looking at the space between here and I guess the space between here. But also it can't be, it isn't exactly exact either. You know, that's probably fine. Okay, so we export that as well. And then recompress everything. I think I compressed this one already. Tetris effect. Google might actually be doing their own compression on the images. Maybe this is redundant. They are the one who developed the Zopli compression. So maybe they are using that there. And with a ton of images, you probably would want to do some processing on the back end to do so. Just to save space. But also it's Google and they have a ton of space. Okay. So, taking this again. So yeah, you can't really see this, but that's the logo. Can't really do much about it. Maybe there is something we can do about it, actually. We can make it less flat. But also it's a logo, you shouldn't be doing too much to it. So we can do something like this. Layer the image size so we have some space to work with. Turn this into black. And then we can blur. We need to get rid of this one. So a little bit of a drop shadow makes, or not a drop shadow, glow, dark glow behind it. Can really help things pop out. On, off. Yeah, I think that works. Alternatively, we make this white instead. That's a little bit too much. Even with reduced... Yeah, no, I think black works better. It just gives it a bit more definition. Maybe 70. Okay. So, we go back, export, back in the EG sub. There's probably a better way to do this. But I think that would require building some tooling around it. So I think you can probably use FFmpeg to render the subtitles on top of the image. Which I know you can do for video. You can probably do it for images as well. Okay. And then we can press again. So we should already have it in our history. But yeah, I compress also because just to save space locally. Not that it's all that much. Like a megabyte here and there isn't going to be really going to be make much of a difference. Okay. So looking at it again, this is the one for Pengu's. That's the stream on Wednesday. This is Tetris Effect connected. This will be the stream on Friday. There's a lot of black here. That's okay, whatever. And then Mario Kart. Not a thumbnail that pops out, but also I don't have any better idea. It gets the wave 6 across, which is what we want. And the seam here doesn't look too bad. Like you can kind of tell if you look closely that there's something here. But otherwise, it's not all that obvious. And I only can see this because I know to look for it. Okay, no, I modified the other one, so I'm going to modify this one. The shadow here is bugging me. A little bit less. And maybe down a little bit. I think it was already down, actually. Okay, let's do that. Now to recompress that one. Mario Kart. We're still in our history. Can't see anything between the track thumbnails and your picture on the Mario Kart 8-bit. Yeah, of course, because there's nothing there. Yeah. Yeah, you probably weren't here for it earlier, actually. What happened was, so this is the original shot. We moved this over from the middle to the right side. And to do that, we had to cut it out and clone the portions and then make the area seamless. We may as well save that. I don't think there was anything that changed there. But yeah, if you can't see it when you don't know what you're looking for, then great. That means this is a decent job. Okay. Now to open this up and put these in order. So, once again, Pengu's for Wednesday, Mario Kart on Thursday, and then Tetris Effect on Friday. I think I am happy with these thumbnails, so let's go ahead and upload them. I think I should be able to show this on stream, just double checking. This one, that one. And then go to YouTube Studio. Yeah, it should be fine. Move this over here. And then let's have these ones over to the side, like this. So this one is Pengu's. You can go to thumbnail. Like that. Save. And then we'll take this one, upload the thumbnail there, save that, and then upload it for this one. And save, and then we should see it live now, assuming that all the caches have refreshed. Changes saved, you say? Well, I'm gonna assume that it's saved. The caches have not refreshed yet. They have a lot of servers. I'm sure it'll get around to it at some point. But there we go. And then Discord caches will hopefully refresh at some point too. It's going to be a few days. But yeah. That's my thumbnail making process. Use GIMP and then EG-sub to add the text, if there is text. Some people have said that it's kind of redundant to have EG-sub, but I do find that it is a lot easier to just manipulate the text in here rather than to try to do it in GIMP. But there we go, it works. If you use the session as a co-working session, I hope you were productive. And also, thanks for all the chats. So I had some good discussions here. Possibly, I feel like there could be a few clips here and there that we can get out of it. If somebody goes through this stream and looks for moments. I'm not doing it. You probably won't be doing it. But I'm sure somebody will eventually. Maybe hire an editor or something. Anyway, that's it for this stream. Good productive stream. Maybe we'll have more of these in the future. But with that, I really got to work on my endings. But what's a good shot to end on? Right, okay. So, next stream. Pengus. We will be playing Pengus. It's like Lemmings, as I mentioned before. Like Lemmings, it's open source, free, available for Mac, Windows, and Linux. I am, of course, on Linux, so I will be playing on Linux. And we will be going through the first worlds. I don't know how far we'll get, but we'll try to get as far as we can. And with that, I think we should just end it there. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed, and have a good night. See ya.